welcome to In-Game Chats for Saturday, August 16th, 2014. This is Season 8, Episode 33. I'm Scott.
I'm Dennis.
And I'm RJ. And welcome to the show. We don't have Nate in here tonight. He was scheduled to be here, but a friend of his had some car trouble, and now he's stuck a good ways away from here at the moment. He's okay. No car trouble on his part, but he will not be in with us tonight. I don't know. Maybe if he's coming back, maybe on his way back in, he can stop in for the streaming after the show, perhaps. It'd be nice to have a group of full Thor doing this. You want to play Crawl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in just a minute, but yeah, maybe he can stop by. But if you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. While, Nate is not here, that doesn't mean you can't call. So 334-272-9228 is the number. Give us a call. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat, as well as on Facebook. If you do happen to call tonight, being the fact that Nate is not here, let it ring until we can get to you, because I'll be the only one that can reach over to the phone and grab it. So, but feel free to call, 334-272-9228. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. And we are streaming the cam feed right now through Twitch. Head over to twitch.tv. You can find us there as well as join the chat room live while we broadcast. Did some testing over the past week with Hitbox.
How'd that go?
It went pretty good. You were not there for that, were you?
No, I was not.
You were not, but I believe AC Wraith was in there. I believe AC Wraith was watching the stream of that, I think. I can't remember. I know Nate was, and I know James was, actually.
So did it go well? Was there any? Did we have the kind of delay we have on Twitch?
No. I think it was. We tried to count. I was like, "Tell me," I said, as soon as I move the cursor over to this other pinball table, or as soon as I do this action on screen, tell me when you see it. And so I would do it, and then I would start counting until somebody posted in the chat room that they saw it. It's about a 10 to 11 second delay.
Okay, so, that's not terrible.
Oh no, well, it's much better than 60.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's so we tried it over there. I heard good things not only just about the chat, but also apparently the stream quality is quite good over there as well. So we're still weighing that option, and we actually may.
It is kind of one of those things, if there is an exodus from Twitch, how long will that last?
Well, you know what? I think people who do have a large following maybe have a little bit more apprehensive to making the move.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially people who do this for a living.
Right. I don't think it would be that hard to get all of our people to jump over to Hitbox.
Oh, yeah, well,
we don't have that many people to have jump over.
Yeah. Well, also, we don't just advertise ourselves on Twitch. We have COG and also our Facebook and Twitter and everything.
Yeah, we have plenty of ways to let people know if we were going to make the move. We are not. More than likely, what we will do, should we do that, is we'll probably set a date a good ways out, and every episode we'll just keep reminding you that, hey, this is the switch is coming, that sort of stuff, and then we'll finally make the switch over to the other streaming service. Would that be the case? So, like I said, still mulling it over. I went back, and it didn't take long. In fact, I think I did it while we were in the studio. You guys had left for the night after the show, and I went to Twitch to go ahead and put our show that we had just done that night into the archive, so it didn't get erased or anything, and so people can see it. And already 2 30-minute chunks were blocked on that, so a full hour of the show was muted.
I'm glad we don't do the direct export from Twitch to YouTube, because
I'll tell you what it picked up on. It picked up on the DuckTales music. It said, okay, that's copyright.
Of all the things?
Yeah, of all the things. It picked up on the DuckTales music. That muted 30 minutes of stuff. So it also muted the intro to the interview we did with Last of Us, because I'm sure it would have grabbed the Last of Us music and probably said, oh, that's whatever. So you got part of the interview that we did with Neil Druckmann and Jason Gregory, but at the end of that I played the Pearl Jam song, which I knew was going to get flagged. It did, and so then the next 30 minutes of it got cut off as well. I think you can hear just a tiny little bit of the Assassin's Creed song at the end of that, and then that's it. That's all it was. So, but yeah, so it's
at the very least, we have in place workarounds so it doesn't affect us. Aside from our Twitch video archive that will go away in 2 weeks.
You go to YouTube, You go to YouTube and you can see that show completely unedited, no muting of any audio. You can watch it exactly how it was, and go to YouTube for all our videos. In fact, I came in early today because I was uploading 11 videos so far. I've still got 1, 2, 3. I've still got 3 more videos to upload of past gameplay stuff. Pinball, lots of it. Pinball.
All the Silver Ball Sundays.
All the Silver Ball Sundays that I haven't gotten up there are going to go up there. Our time with Nidhogg, our time with Speedrunners, our time with Forced, all that's going to go up there. So everything that we have done is going up on our YouTube channel. So Lavo says you're moving to Hitbox because of the Content ID stuff. Very possible, man. Just for the fact that it mutes that stuff. Now, it mutes, for the most part, we aren't affected. And I want to see, this is a possibility. This is something
It would be more of a hassle if Twitch was our only medium, but it's not.
It's something we're taking into consideration. We're not saying we are doing it. I knew that last week's show was going to get flagged. I knew it was.
Yeah.
This week's show, I'm curious to see what gets flagged. We have no music other than video game music, and I'm curious what will get flagged out of that.
Especially since they said we're not looking to flag video game music. We're looking to flag copyrighted songs.
Yeah, before last week's show, and again, see, he's responding to something that took place 60 seconds ago, so Hitbox would be nice to have. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen at Hitbox if they get popular as well. I don't know that they will, but man, their chat is a much better option than what Twitch is giving you, because right now I'm talking to you. You're not going to hear this for another 60 seconds or more, and then you'll respond to it. So I kind of like that. But before last week's show got up on Twitch, nothing was flagged in our streams except for Star Wars Pinball because of the John Williams music used in that. So there's that to consider as well. But I don't know. We kind of want to see how much of our stuff gets muted. But then also, I got to tell you, man, the chat works so much better over there as far as the delay, and I heard good things from the people who watched. We're still going to test it over there. We're going to do some streams over there, and we invite you guys to show up and let us know how it works for you, and you know, kind of what you prefer. I guess we could give the listeners a vote in this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just going to depend on what happens with Twitch. If this content ID like system gets more invasive, it does start interfering with live streams and the like, because that's, you know, our primary worry about it. If we export it directly from Twitch to YouTube, that will be more of a concern. But since we do have it where we do record it onto the computer here and then upload it to YouTube, that's not a worry for us.
No, it's not, because everything that we do will be on YouTube for that. Although I do notice that a lot of people go to our Twitch channel and watch videos there.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That is interesting. I guess
is it our show, or is it like the Silver Ball Sundays, or
it's all of them. You know, it's all of them. I know we had at least 9 views on that Druckmann interview that we did last week. But I don't know. It's still it's something we're contemplating. We're not making the move yet. We're not saying we're going to. It's just something that we are considering, and we'll let you know if we do it. So. Callie Synth asked about the DuckTales music. It was game music, and it was from the remake, and it was flagged. So I'm curious. However, there was an incident where that music ran very long. We had a problem that I had to run out of the studio, so I used that as fill so that I wouldn't miss any of the breaks. And that music ran for like 3 minutes. Which could be a possibility. Normally, we'd probably only let it go for about, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Maybe that's something it wouldn't pick up on. There's a lot of questions to this, a lot of testing and seeing what's going to happen. So we shall see. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on into the show proper. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Gamescom everywhere.
Yep.
Plenty of stuff going on from that. Before we get into that, though, let's go ahead and talk about the stuff that we played in the past week leading up to everything. I will start with, I think I always start with RJ. Let's start with Dennis today.
Okay. Well, first thing is I did finish up Wolf Among Us. Did get through the final chapter of that. And that was a pretty good story overall. I'm interested to see if they're going to do anything else with that, or if just Wolf is just going to be a separate thing because they already have a million things on their plate right now.
Yeah, they do.
Aside from that, I did pick up a early access title on Steam called Crawl, which is an interesting game. It's basically hero runs through the dungeon, but it's a multiplayer thing. The thing is, the other up to 3 players are spirits who control the monsters and traps inside the dungeon. And whoever manages to kill off the hero then becomes the hero, and he exchanges places with spirits. And it just basically, it's... For playing it was kind of like playing a Mario Party minigame for about 20 minutes, where the 1 versus 3, the one would just be constantly swapping out based on what happens. A lot of interesting systems in there where you basically have a set of monsters you play as whenever you are able to bring a monster into the room. But leveling up those monsters is based on how much each player levels up their hero. So the more the other players level up the heroes, the more powerful your monsters get. The heroes level up by getting additional gold to buy equipment from the shop there, but they do that by inflicting damage on the hero as in their spirit forms. So it's like very much a tug of war between, do you want to be the hero or the spirit? Only the hero can end up winning in the end, because there's essentially a final boss area you can get to, and you have to be like level 10 or so, and it goes quickly. The longest game I played of it with just playing as bots was 30 minutes. It is early access and does kind of show in places, but for $10 it is well worth the money. And hopefully we'll get a stream going on after the show of that tonight.
It reminds me of a type of gameplay that was in, I think, Halo. And it wasn't King of the Hill. I can't remember what it was. Well, it's not necessarily the same. Basically, some guy had, like the skull, and could carry it around and go through. And as soon as you killed him, you picked up the skull.
Yeah, kind of a what's it, Oddball or something like that.
Yeah, Oddball. I believe that's what that was called. And so, whenever you picked it up, you had, I can't remember what the stipulation was, but you became it. You're it. Basically, is what it was. So interesting to play that. We'll get you to sign in to your Steam account here. We'll play it through yours and go from there. And
because it's just local multiplayer right now, no online co-op.
And just so you guys know, we do. Those of you who are watching on Twitch, those of you who are listening on the radio, whoever, people listening right now, those of you guys listening, if you want to, after the show, head over to twitch.tv, or if you're already watching us there, just stick around. It takes about 30 minutes for us to get set up and ready. And we start streaming games. We've had a blast playing Speedrunners. Yeah,
Speedrunners has been a favorite up here. Just nice, quick game. Everybody competes against each other, and matches aren't any long. I think the longest we went was like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, you can only go so long with those things because at a certain point, the
game is going to force a winner to come up.
Yeah, the game forces it.
Yeah, either because after a certain time limit starts shrinking the screen, or once one player is knocked out, it starts causing that contracting effect.
Yeah, the screen starts getting smaller and smaller, and whoever gets left off the screen, that means you're out. So last person standing. So had a lot of fun with that, and we've played some others. So yeah, definitely stick around after the show and watch the streams. It's a lot of fun. So you did that. Anything else? What else did you do?
That's been about it.
You did something else, though, right? You said you finished a game.
I said I finished Wolf Among Us.
Oh, did you? Okay, I'm sorry. I was typing in the chat. This is what happens when you're not paying attention.
No, that's about it. I mean, the only other thing I've been playing is my usual Kingdom of Loathing game.
Hey, I wanted to ask you specifically, because you're a big fan of this, I noticed in our show notes here that you saw that there was a first look of Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
Yeah, they did post a actual gameplay video. They've been posting animated GIFs of like their early builds on the website, but they did post to YouTube still an early build, but a actual video of playing the game, and it looks really good. Like some of the sound effects and such are missing, but I was already interested in just seeing that animation is very fluid, just looks great, and everybody needs to play that game, so I'm not alone in liking it.
Yeah. is there still any kind of release date attached to it? Is there anything
Not
we know?
yet. They said they...
Systems? What do we know on that?
we do know it is PC and PS4 and Vita. It is going to be one of the indie titles that comes out on Sony platforms.
Cross-buy on that Vita thing? You buy it on PS4, you get it
I
on
believe
Vita?
so,
Okay.
yes.
That'd be
I
nice.
know anybody who owns the original Binding of Isaac on Steam will get a discount on Rebirth as well.
Yeah. RJ, over to... Well, I'll tell you what. We'll leave RJ for last because he always goes first. We'll put him on last this time. I'll go ahead and go and tell you that... what did I play? I'm trying to think. I played some more Silver Ball Sundays as I normally do. Wolverine was the table I played this past week.
Okay.
And it was interesting. I don't remember when that was released. I think I have it on the...
Yeah, that was one of the earlier...
Yeah, I think I have it on the
Marvel
360,
titles.
which, by the way, Pinball FX 2 is now on Xbox One, and they were able to get the
table transfers?
table transfer stuff done. So the games that you've bought previously on the 360 will now transfer over to the Xbox One. And I have not played it there yet. I've not had a chance to go through that, but played Wolverine for Silver Ball Sundays. The thing was, I played it for like 3 hours in the middle of the day, like around noon or so. I played it for about 2.5, 3 hours, and just could not make anything happen with it. And I was just like, okay, well, there it is. It just felt defeated.
You weren't able to like get any of the special events going or anything like that?
It just wasn't clicking, and I wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't satisfying myself. There were 4 people ahead of me, and I just could not get into...
Couldn't break into that high score.
I couldn't
table.
break into there, and it was just getting annoying. And I was like, well, that's it. I can't do anymore. I'm done. So I stopped it. The video we uploaded to YouTube is an edit, so you won't see any of that stuff. But so later in the day, I was like, let me go back to Hitbox and give that a chance. Let me put that back on and really go for that. Because I had tested it out earlier in the day for like 10 minutes. Not enough. There was nobody joining in the chat room. There was nobody. Medusa's Mirror stopped by and kind of helped me out a little bit that she could, but she couldn't stay.
Yeah.
And so I was like, So that's why I went to Twitch, did the usual Silver Ball Sunday. But then I popped back over to Hitbox and had an amazing first run that got me into like 3rd or 2nd place on the leaderboards. I can't remember what it was. I'd have to go look, but just an amazing first run. And you'll see that in the video that we're going to post on YouTube, that run there. So
clearly evidence that we need to switch over to Hitbox.
right, 'cause I'll do better. I'll do better at pinball. It was really good. So yes, AC Wraith is number 5. AC Wraith has a few positions on the leaderboards, on my leaderboards. I added another person to Steam again today. Not today, but this past week, somebody added me on Steam, and I was like, I don't know this person. And I checked their other friends, and it's other people in my Steam list who play Pinball FX.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, God, it's another pinball player. I thought either this guy just really likes wants to be on my leaderboards and wants to have the competition with me, or I'm going to add him, and I'm going to see all my stats just drop.
No longer the pinball king.
Sure enough, man, he's up there. The past 4 people I've added on Steam, with the exception of, I believe, Jimmy the Saint, or was that Johnny, somebody who was with us yet last week, who I added, the past 4 people I've added have all knocked me down further in the leaderboards. So, again, I could take these people off so that I don't have that problem and could be, like, number 1, but I enjoy the challenge, and so I don't do that. The other game that I've been playing is Wolfenstein, The New Order.
Okay, how's that been going for you?
This I can't wait to talk to James about it, and I hope Gersnort either joins us live for that episode, or at least sends an email about it. Maybe he already has, but this is much better than I ever expected it to be.
That's what I've been hearing from a lot of people who've played it. Everyone's thinking like, it's Wolfenstein. I think the last one that came out on the 360 and PS3 and PC was not exactly well received. But this one, a lot of people said, no, this is really good.
This is really, really good.
Yeah, when I rented it, it held my attention all the way through, and I wanted to do another playthrough because of the story elements of that prelude part. Either pick one or the other and run through the whole storyline with that based on that one choice. And then I want to play it again to make the other choice, but of course I had to return it back at that time. But it was a really good game. I had a lot of fun with it.
Well, it's much better than I thought. I had seen this at 1 or 2 E3s previous. I had seen the game, and I just came away underwhelmed. I was like, this looks boring. It really looked boring. It really looked uninteresting. And I don't know what's changed about it. I don't know what's different. I don't know if they made changes to it. I remember watching Total Biscuit talk about it for his, I think it's his WTF series that he does. And he expressed exactly the same thing that I did, which was he was loving it, but he didn't think he would because everything he had seen previous was not lighting a fire for him. And this was not doing it for me either. It just was not holding my attention in the previews that I had seen at E3 and anywhere else. I was just like, it's not clicking. And boy, does it click. God, it's good.
It's one of those times where, like, the previews and trailers and everything, when they mislead you into thinking something, this is one where it actually turns out well.
I guess it's weird because I'm seeing everything that I saw, but maybe because it's in a context, or maybe I don't really know. But it's firing on all cylinders, man. It's working. It is working so very well. So highly recommend the game if you guys are interested in it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. And now over to RJ.
I was playing Dark Souls 2, and I finally got access to the DLC, first part of Sunken King story arc that they're doing. The problem was I have 3 characters on the game, and my first 2 is in New Game Plus mode. So they're at the beginning of the second playthrough,
and they can't
access you. I have to get to the area where the Rotten is. That boss fight is in the Black Gulch. So the only one closest to it that I had available was my third character, who I'm building up in the first playthrough. So I basically got there with my weakest character, trying to play this area. And I tell you, the difficulty really stepped up in this DLC as opposed to
no, not in Dark Souls.
No, that's right, Dark Souls, not Dark Souls, of course not. But I get there, and I'll give you a gist of what happens. I get to the area. Spoiler alerts if no one's ever played it yet. But I get there, and I see this huge dragon. He wakes up, notices me, growls, takes off, and I take a deep breath and realize this is probably going to be a nice little boss battle later on today. So I see him take off, and I go down, and I see this large undead knight, and he crushes me with his mace. That's one death. Go back to the bonfire. Go back, take him down. And now I'm thinking, okay, I got a good pace going I can go through. The very next area I get to has 5 undead knights with the same weapon, and 3 undead knights with bow and arrows picking me off from a distance while the other 5 knights are keeping me distracted. So 3 deaths later in that situation, now I get back in there. I finally get past this area. Now I get to an area with 2 more undead knights, and now I have insects to deal with. Insects. Big, bloated rear insects who spit out...
Rear insects?
I forget what... I don't know what the term is other than butt. But the back of the insect is bloated with these red pustules on the back, and they spit out this corrosive gas.
Sounds great.
And by corrosive, you don't necessarily mean just damage over time.
It wears out your armor and equipment the longer you stay in contact with it. So I thought this thing just shook a little bit, then it spit out a bunch of gas. So I thought maybe it'd just be a brief little 5-second burst. No, this thing constantly spits out this gas for about a minute, until it dies first.
Is it basically you have to use ranged weapons against this thing?
It would be best if you use ranged weapons, because if you get close to it, what's going to happen is what happened to me. I started losing equipment. My headgear broke because the acid just took it out. And then when I finally took the thing out, I looked at my inventory and looked at the status of my armor, and it was like half strength all the way through. So I had to either find a bonfire, get some repair powder, and repair everything. And so that's as far as I got. And then there are little columns that you have to hit to make paths appear to navigate your way through. So this is
kind of like those levers in Hyde's Tower of Flame.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I've been dealing with in Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls, so I expect this. So I'm having a good time going through that so far. Let's see if I played some. It's not new to anybody, but I've played Arkham Origins finally. I started playing that.
Okay.
It's a good.
How far in are you?
I've gotten to. I'm searching for the Penguin right now. Didn't play much, but I'm searching for the Penguin.
Yeah, you're still on
through his area. So it's Batman, of course. So if you played Arkham City, Arkham Origins, you know Arkham. Arkham Asylum, you know what you're getting into. So it's pretty much a good game all around. Played a little bit of Pinball Effects 2. I finally, since I bought the thing, it was free for gold, so I picked it up. I finally got a table for it. Played the Street Fighter table in that.
Of course you would.
Absolutely. Didn't get too far. The best I did was like 13 million or something, so it wasn't that nothing impressive about that. But I figured,
Scott probably has like 900 million or so.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm at on Street Fighter 2. That is one of the tables that is not available on PC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is not available on PC.
Huh.
So I'm not sure where I don't know what my score is on that table.
I figured the thing about it is just knowing when to hit, where to hit the ball, to get the angle, get the thing where you go. You know, basic applied geometry. You know, hit the right angles at the right time, and there you go. But so after playing all that, let's see, played some Street Fighter. Had some good little 1 to 5 sets with some friends of mine at the local bar, playing there. And then I'm in a dilemma now because we played Battle Block Theater a few shows ago, playing that.
Yeah.
So I started looking for that because I missed the free one from middle
when
of July.
When they did Games with Gold.
Games with Gold, I think it was free in the middle of July. So started trying to look at that. Looked at it, $15 for it. But then I messed around and looked at the demo for Castle Crashers. So now I'm debating: do I pay for Castle Crashers or Battle Block Theater? I'm just between the two.
I've spent a lot of hours in Castle.
I was going to say Castle Crashers would probably get my vote. The only time I put into Battle Block was the time
when we were up here.
When we were here, and I believe Battle Block is one of the. I don't know if that video is going up or not because none of us really know.
We did not have a fun time with that.
Yeah.
How it divide people up on teams, you couldn't like.
Had a 2-on-1 deal.
Yeah, we had 2-on-1 as opposed to like
didn't really
3-for-all.
Right. So I don't know that video made it up, but that's the only experience I have with Battle Block Theater. So I would say if you're going to go between the two, I would go for Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Speedrunners, it was announced at Gamescom, was coming to Xbox One. Yep. When I saw that, I was like, hey, good, because we're doing that, and it's fun. Speedrunner's been around. In fact, the first time I saw it was at PAX.
It's been early access for a minute.
Yeah, it's. I saw it at PAX last year, so it's been around for a year. In fact, they were at the Indie Mega booth and pulled me aside and said, "Hey, play this," and I played it. And I was hooked on it, and so I've had it for a while now, and I've been trying to preach the gospel of speedrunners because it's awesome. It's a great little multiplayer game.
It's a fun little game to play.
It's a fun game. It's a fun local multiplayer game to play. It's great. So
easy to learn.
Those of you and it doesn't require much of your PC to do it. Yeah. It's not that graphic intensive, and so the fact that people on Xbox One will get to play this will be great. So. Lavo says that his vote is both if you can do it for Battle Block and Castle Crashers. But I would say if you can only do one, my vote goes to
when they did the Steam sale, they had a combo pack of Battle Block and Castle Crashers available, and I think pretty much everybody got that one during that time.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know that I have. I think I do have Castle Crashers. But anyway, that's all for you?
That's it.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to dive right into Gamescom. We've got all the news from Xbox One. We've got all the news from PS4. We're also going to dive right into your phone calls. If you have them, you can call us, 334-272-9228. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat in just a moment. Here's music from MechWarrior 2. to in-game chat. That is music from Metal Gear Solid. Wonder what the odds are that that's going to get tagged. I don't know. We'll slowly get it. We'll get it off the air there, so that hopefully they don't catch it on Twitch. But anyway, see, if you think about it though, if any of this stuff gets tagged, we play commercials here at about every 30 minutes. So if any of it gets tagged, our entire show, if there's any
copyright music in there,
our entire show could get muted over on Twitch. But anyway, obviously it wouldn't do it during the live stream. It only does it during the videos after. So anyway, welcome back to the show. Enough about that again. Let's go into Gamescom. We will start with Xbox. This is like E3 Part 2.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, it's just...
I don't remember it being this good. Not saying that it was ever bad. I just don't remember coming away, I suppose, as fulfilled as I was out of E3 type of thing. E3, you think that's where the big stuff comes, and then, Gamescom shows up and, nah, here's more stuff. If I remember last time, Gamescom talked about the Vita a lot for the PS, for when Sony did theirs. But I, for whatever reason, I don't remember it being this packed with a lot of stuff.
No, I'm glad it's there though. There's quite a bit to talk about.
You and me both. Xbox One. Let's hit some of that. We got bundles. Bundles.
Lots of Xbox One bundles.
FIFA got a bundle, but that's for Europe.
And also a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare bundle as well.
Right, the Advanced Warfare bundle is true. We're also getting a Sunset Overdrive bundle.
That's right.
I don't necessarily know, and you'd have to check. This is when we wish Nate was here. Do any of these bundles come with Kinect, or is it just the Xbox system?
I think it's just the Xbox system.
I think it's just the system itself.
As far as I know, I mean, give me 2 seconds and I can...
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and talk about them. Though Sunset Overdrive gets a white Xbox. FIFA gets... I think just a bundle. I don't think the box has any kind of decoration or any different look to it, aesthetic to it. And
there's nothing and on the Call of Duty one, I can see here there's no Kinect visible at all.
Right.
So I think they are the absolute essential system for your Xbox One experience is not needed for these bundles.
Yeah. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare gets a bundle, and it gets a custom Xbox One with a nice little design on it and that sort of thing, and a controller that has the nice design on it. The interesting thing about that Xbox One for the Call of Duty thing, it comes with a large hard drive.
Yeah, a terabyte.
A terabyte hard drive.
Now, how big is... Do you know how big the Xbox
500. One? Xbox One and PS4 are both 500 gigs.
Interesting.
That's the standard now, isn't it?
That is the standard. There are no, as far as I know, there's no different SKUs available that comes with different hard drives, except now with the Call of Duty bundle. However, I believe both systems. I know the PS4 allows you to install your own hard drive, so long as it meets certain criteria, and I believe Xbox One allows you to do USB hard drives.
Okay. Yeah, because eventually, because somewhere down the line, when I eventually decided to get one of these current gen systems, one of the first things I wanted to do was have a bigger hard drive. So I'm still thinking about doing that for the PS3.
See, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm selling a PS4 system to a friend of Nate's so that I can, because I'm picking up
the Destiny.
I'm getting the Destiny bundle, and since I will be getting that, I'm looking to start fresh and grab a bigger hard drive to put into it and do that. So. I've been looking at threads about what's better with speeds and capacity and all this other stuff. So I'm looking to go that route. But so far I don't have that situation on my Xbox One. My PS4 is getting up there. It's okay right now. I mean, it's still got plenty of room, and I can delete things off of there. It's not a problem. I just like to have some of these things are going to be around for a while. I'd like to have the space to do stuff with them. But Xbox One, like I said, it's not yet hitting near any kind of capacity on it. I put a lot of time into my Xbox One because I'm probably either watching TV or Netflix or whatever. I put a lot of time in my PS4 for gaming.
I wonder how that would compare if you did use your Xbox One more for gaming then.
Probably would.
Right.
Probably would be a similar situation.
Yeah, see, in my case, I was thinking 500 gigs isn't enough. I mean, maybe it's just me because I've always felt the more space I have on the PC or gaming, the more space I have on my hard drive or memory units, the better. So I always try to get the most that I can. And just 500 gigs, just hearing that in this day and age of gaming, I just never thought that would be enough.
Yeah, it seems a little bit on the low end, but there are... the interesting thing on my Xbox One is that back when I had that issue with my disk drive, Microsoft gave me quite a few games that were tied to my account, but they were all digital, so I had to download them. These were not things I could go to a store and be like, let me pick up a box copy of this. They were all digital. So I have quite a few games downloaded to that hard drive, and I'm still doing okay. But I'm trying to think of what maybe the next game will be that I'll put on that system, and I don't know what it is at the moment.
Probably maybe Sunset Overdrive, because I can't...
That's likely.
Or, well, this will be after that, but now we know...
Tomb Raider?
Rise of Tomb Raider is Xbox One.
It won't be that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And it was being billed originally as, like, nope, it's exclusively the one in the 360. That's what it's going to be at. And then, but, like, people were like, well, that's not exactly what they're saying. And then they eventually came out and say, yeah, it's timed exclusive. Microsoft did get timed exclusivity for this. Because just based on the... Because you have to read into these marketing spiels and be like, well, what are you really saying? It's not just a upfront...
They're saying exactly what they said. It's like the fall... Or was it holiday or fall? What did they say?
Yeah, it was something like that. For fall, this will only be available on...
Well, they didn't say this. They didn't say for fall. They just said this fall you can play, or this holiday 2015 you can play the next Tomb Raider exclusively on Xbox. Which, first off, I think sent red flags into the air saying, "Wow, it's exclusive to Xbox One." And as far as I know, the developers weren't coming out to say anything different. It was Microsoft that had to clarify, and say, "Look, we won't say for how long, but this is a timed Xbox exclusive for the next Tomb Raider game." And there's been a ton of people upset over this. Ton of people raging. I mean, it's the internet for God's
it's
sakes.
the internet. And the thing of it is, this kind of thing, next week they'll be angry about something else, the game-wise. That's just how it goes. People forget about it, and then, like, 3 months after Rise of Tomb Raider comes out, they'll get it on the PS4 or whatever, or PC, and everybody will be happy at the end of the day.
I suppose.
It does suck for, like, the people who are Tomb Raider fans and who did get a PS4, and now they're like, now I have to wait for this game that I wanted, that as far as we knew would probably be a cross-platform game.
There might be some people who know, but there's been a lot of comparisons, or at least a lot of people who bring up Bayonetta 2. But a lot of people say, no, Bayonetta 2 is different. Nintendo put that money in there. Bayonetta 2 would not have been made without Nintendo throwing that money in to have it made, even though it's exclusive now just to the Wii U.
Right.
I'm looking at RJ when I'm talking about this, because he's the Bayonetta guy.
Yeah. And it's a game I'd love to play, but it's not so much that I would buy a Wii U for it.
But does it make you feel better that it's going to exist so that one day you'll have a Wii U, maybe? I don't know.
Doubtful I'd get a Wii U, but, it is nice that it was made. That Bayonetta was popular enough to merit a sequel being put out anyway. So.
Tomb Raider, as far as I know, that was going to get made regardless, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Even though Square was really upset or just not happy with the results of the first game, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a failure to them monetarily, even though it was the largest sale.
Yeah, it made a huge amount of money, but not to their
franchise.
liking. Yeah, but just not to their liking.
Yeah, it was like, it's sold millions and millions of units, complete failure. And it's just, really?
No.
It's clearly not that big a failure, considering there's another one coming out.
Well, maybe they would just put too much money into it, maybe, or something.
Yeah,
like
that's about the only thing that makes sense, is it was just so much money put in, they didn't make back enough of it to make feel justified. It was just kind of strong language for what everybody thought was like a successful game.
Yeah, because bottom line is that
that just goes into the entire AAA game costs are just going up and up, and not getting as much of a return.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of comparisons to that, and I was curious as to, if Tomb Raider was going to get made. What I do understand is that Microsoft doing this means that it has to be enough money that Square said, okay.
Clearly, Microsoft thought it was worthwhile, even though, again, to beat a dead horse, Square said, well, complete failure.
Yeah.
But
apparently it's enough money that Square was like, sure, we'll do this because, that means when the game releases, we're going to come out at least in a position that we feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
On top of whatever sales get made after it becomes unexclusive and goes to, hopefully, PC along with PS4. And they'll be satisfied with that, maybe then the franchise lives on from there. I'm not exactly sure. So one of the other comparisons that was made was also Titanfall.
Mm-hmm. That was an issue with them making a deal with the publisher, because from what we read from Respawn is they were not happy at all about losing the PlayStation audience.
Yeah.
Not coming out and saying that, but just saying, we weren't included in those discussions.
In fact, wanting to talk about Titanfall was Kobe, who called in, and I believe Kobe's on the line with us now. Kobe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man, you wanted to talk about Titanfall, right?
Yeah.
So what did you want to talk about with Titanfall?
Well, I really just wanted to hear your guys' opinion, and that was a pretty well thought, explained opinion.
About Titanfall?
Kind of.
I mean, did you want to talk about the fact that it was an exclusive?
Not really.
The main issue is that out of all of us, I think only Scott, you've been the only one to play it.
Yeah, I mean, James has played it on some, and he's not here. But out of everybody that's in this room now, it's just me that has actually played the title, and I haven't played it on Xbox One. I've only played it on PC. Titanfall, that is. Mm-hmm. So where did you play yours, Kobe? Did you play it on PC, or did you play it on Xbox One or Xbox 360?
Xbox One.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, you already had an Xbox One, so the exclusivity didn't matter to you. So I guess that's great. Do you have a PS4?
No. I got a PS3.
So was Titanfall the reason you got an Xbox One? Was that one of the games was like, this is the system I have to get for this game?
Not really.
All right. Well, I mean, was there anything else you wanted us to talk about as far as Titanfall is concerned, or you wanted to add in your comments as far as Titanfall was concerned?
No, thank you for answering and
sure.
explaining that.
No problem. We appreciate the call. Thanks. And if you would like to get your calls in, you can give us a call 334-272-9228. Kobe also found us in the chat room. I like his name though, Mercenary Burrito. That's a really cool name. So that gets announced as an exclusive for Xbox One. Tomb Raider, the next Tomb Raider, what is it called? Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm glad it's coming out. I'm glad it's getting made. For a long time there, I didn't think that we were going to get a sequel for Tomb Raider.
I'm glad it's there. I didn't play the reboot yet. I think I got it on. Was it a PS Plus title at one point? Because I think I have it on there. Actually,
I'm not sure. Actually, I do know that when I bought my 360, it was available for free download. So they were putting that game out for trying to get as much exposure to that as for that game as they could. And speaking of which, heck, we got Naveed telling us that Tomb Raider sold over 6.5 million units. I mean, that's not bad at all, and they still call it a failure. Go figure. But anyway,
well, maybe that's something. Because I think at the time it was like the numbers released were 3 million, and that wasn't including like digital sales via Steam or PSN or Xbox Live. I intend to play through it. I mean, but I was never that big into Tomb Raider.
Same here. I mean, I still got Uncharted to go through before I go through Tomb Raider. I got Uncharted 2
I have
and
not
3.
played a single Uncharted yet.
Yeah, 2 and 3 I have to go through. Played 1, got to work through 2, got to work through 3, then bought the 360. Now I have Tomb Raider sitting there. I mean, it'll still be there.
God, you'll have Uncharted 4 to go through by the time you get done with it, since that's coming out next year. Let's go back to the phones now. A friend of mine, which I was surprised to hear his voice. So we have Carson on the line here. Carson and I met at E3, not this past year, but year before last. He was there as part of Reddit Games, the subreddit R Games, and was really fun to work with. Dude loves doing the video camera stuff, and made me envious that we don't have cameras or more of them when we go to these things. So, hey Carson, you're on the air with us.
How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Pretty good. You wanted to talk about the exclusive stuff, right?
Yeah, I was mainly wanting to talk about the exclusivity and kind of the shunning that I feel like Microsoft has given the PC race when it comes to things, because I feel like they're doing a lot of different exclusive things where they put exclusives, for example, a lot of Halo games on the Xbox, but don't give any love to the PC gamers.
I think most of that's probably just due, games for Windows Live kind of went down the tubes.
Could that not be? Could the same not be said for Sony with Last of Us and Uncharted and any of their exclusives?
Sure. Yeah. The only reason I kind of key in on Microsoft itself is because they almost feel like, I don't know, they heck their thing. Xbox is Microsoft, and they don't really announce PC, even though it's like, well, you guys develop PC games, like you guys are the PC creator, and so they mainly stick with Xbox as their gaming system rather than focus on PC gaming, where I feel like PC gaming is almost where the future of gaming is, to be honest.
Well, as in relation to Tomb Raider, if it is coming out on PC, which I believe it is, but if we can get some details out of this as far as it getting a PC release after this exclusive window passes by for Xbox One, that is where I'll be getting the game.
Yeah.
I have the first one on PC, but I got that through a Steam sale, mainly because we were trying to get the game so we could sit here and talk about it on the show, and so I did a rental through like Redbox or whatever and played it on the Xbox or the PS3. I can't remember which system I played it on, and that's how I experienced the first game. But on this one, and really on future releases, man, if I can pick it up on PC and it's a game that I want, which Tomb Raider is, then that's where I'll go with it. That's honestly where I will go with it. Now, if it's got a multiplayer component that completely outweighs the single player, or is made for that everybody else is jumping to one of the consoles, that's where I'll go. It kind of happened with Titanfall. I was trying to figure out where people would go, and plenty of people were going on PC for it, so that's where I went. If it's multiplayer focused, I go where my friends go. If it is not that way, if it's single player focused, or if it's got a multiplayer component that just nobody's interested in, and it gets a PC release, that's pretty much where I'm going for that one too.
Yeah, for sure. What's your opinion on it comes to exclusivity? I know obviously they do exclusives because it helps not only sell the game, but it sells the system. But do you feel like it hurts games in the long run, or do you feel like it helps them?
So this is a good one. I don't have a Wii U, but Bayonetta 2 would not be made without Nintendo. According to what I've overheard or what I've read, Bayonetta 2 would not have happened without Nintendo. For people who are Bayonetta fans, I'm sure, and I mean obviously bigger fans than RJ is here, I'm sure that's going to drive sales of that system. And I'm sure they are more than happy to say, look, it was either this or nothing at all.
Yeah, it'll drive sales, but also just build up ire among Bayonetta fans who are like, I don't want to buy another system.
Then there's that,
Exactly.
then there's that whole thing, but it wasn't going to happen regardless. It wasn't going to happen without Nintendo stepping in.
Yeah, it is kind of one of those things where it's like, are you thankful that there is another one, or is it...
So maybe we just put that aside since it's kind of a special case. Let's look at stuff like Titanfall. Let's look at stuff like Tomb Raider here. Let's look at, should we not include first-party titles, considering there's really no way around those? Should we not include like Last of Us and say, boy, why can't that be on everything that is available? So maybe we put those aside too, and just look at these something like Titanfall,
look at these third parties that are
Tomb Raider. I think it hurts. I think it hurts. I think it hurts. It hurts my initial reaction of.
Well, it hurts in the fact that it kind of shows the company, well, we're more interested in getting this money in the exclusivity deal rather than getting the game out to as many people as we can.
Yeah.
And that's... But it's also, reality of it is, these are companies that are looking to make money.
Yeah, the reality of it is
you have to weigh one against the other.
It's still a business situation. In business, as much as companies might say otherwise, I got to say that that final thing that they look at is
it's the bottom line.
It's the bottom line.
It's the money.
To them, that is the most important thing.
They're not looking at customer loyalty. They're not looking at trying to appease their base. They're trying to say, are we making more money than we put into it at the end of the day? And will this deal help that happen? Then that's what they're looking at. I hate that. I hate the reality of the situation.
I think the worst thing you can say about exclusivity is that it is bad for the gamer. Not necessarily in every case, but certainly in some cases, particularly when it, for the longest time, RJ didn't have a 360.
Right.
So, you missed out on some things on 360, particularly the multiplayer when all of us were on there.
Yeah, I missed a ton of stuff during that case. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think, Carson? What is your opinion on that?
Well, I feel like it's hurting games, but it's not only hurting games; it's hurting the consumers because there are a lot of games that I really would love to play. The Last of Us, for example, is one that I'm like, I'd love to play that, but I don't own a PS3, and I'm not going to make the step to purchase a PS3 because I want to play it, but I'm not like dying to play it. But there are some games that are coming out, and games that I want to play on other things. Another example: Red Dead Redemption didn't ever come to PC.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a damn shame.
That made me cry a little bit on the inside because not only would that game be amazing if you could mod it, but I feel like you could have taken better advantage of what that game had to offer.
And that's a weird one because everything Rockstar has done, with the exception, I think, of like table tennis, has shown up on PC. They've done PC versions of their stuff. Max Payne made it, and I didn't think it would, but Max Payne made it over. Grand Theft Auto made it over.
Make it as well.
What was it?
L.A. Noire.
L.A. Noire made it.
L.A. Noire made it over. Mm-hmm. So, it's like, one of these days we're getting Red Dead, and it just still never shows up. And so, I agree with you on Red Dead, man. That hurts, but you know what? That released at a time where I wasn't necessarily looking at the PC. I was looking at, is it coming out on 360 or PS3? And it was, it's a Rockstar release, so it came out on both systems. And I was like, okay, then I'll pick it up on whatever the system, my favorite system at the time was. I think it was 360 was the one that I picked it up for. Well, back then my comparisons were the Xbox 360 and the PS3 may be the same as far as quality of graphics and how it looked and everything and how it played, but the online component was better for 360. Maybe I wasn't going to do it, but if I ever did, the communication and everything else that Xbox Live provided was so much better than what the PlayStation was providing at that time. Because it was hard to communicate on the PS3 back then. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten better with the PS4, but that's another one.
I'm kind of mom, but I haven't had anything that I've kind of felt like I've been screwed over by exclusivity. But I imagine, like, say, a title I'm looking forward to, Binding of Isaac Rebirth, if they suddenly said, not coming out on PC, it's just the Sony platforms, I'd be pretty angry about that, particularly with a previous version having come out on the PC.
Carson, let me ask you, they're going over it in the chat room here, but what is it, how many exclusives does a system have to have that you want before you buy that system?
Oh, I mean, my personal thing, I would really have to want the exclusive. I would really have to want it. Like, there's been times where I've looked at the Xbox One and been like, dang it, I would love a Halo game. And there have been times where I've looked at the PlayStation, they've had a couple of really awesome releases that have come out for PlayStation. It would probably have to be at least 3 or 4 before I bite the bullet and pay the $4, $5, whatever $100 to get an actual system.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they've got to be really good games. Like, I was really tempted to get an Xbox or a PlayStation so I could get Grand Theft Auto 5. Finally, it's coming out for PC, but that was one game that was good enough that almost pushed me over to the edge.
A question regarding getting consoles, not necessarily in regards to exclusive. Do PS Plus and Xbox games for gold, do getting those, does that help incentivize a console purchase? Because right now you can go on to, like, say, Sony's site and get the PS4 game credited to your account even if you don't have one. Does that give you any kind of incentive to consider when deciding to purchase a console? Is that a thought that's...
It might. I think one of the developers, EA, is doing almost like an EA Plus membership.
Yeah,
the EA access.
Yeah.
I heard about that, and I was like, something like this, if other developers create an access thing where you can pay however much a year or a month, then it's almost going to be useless to get a system because other developers are going to do that for everyone. And maybe it is specifically for...
It is specifically for Xbox One only. So
if it is for Xbox One, I bet you... when EA announced this, that was the first time I had ever heard someone say anything good about EA on Reddit in a long time. In a very long time. And so if it works for EA, I guarantee people are going to start hopping on that bandwagon, and it's going to go for a whole lot more than Xbox and for PlayStation.
Well, Sony's the one that turned them down.
Yeah.
Sony said, no, we don't want it on our system.
Yeah, they essentially said, we already have PS Plus. Why do we need an additional thing for just this company on here?
Right, kind of make a decision for the consumers, which is, I'm not always a fan of that. I don't know. I'm glad that people were saying nice things about EA, but when I looked at the offerings, and we talked about this, I think last week or the week before, whenever we went over this originally, there's nothing there for me, man. A lot of sports titles, Battlefield 4, which I already own on PC. So there was nothing drawing me to what they were offering in that regard.
Certainly not for purchase of an Xbox One.
I'm sure that library will expand. I really do. I'm just saying
they have said they are not taking away any titles from that. That'll be part of that access program.
Yeah, it'll always be there. So I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. I really wish James was here to get his opinion on exclusives and what he thinks about it as well. But I don't know. The answer is they're probably going to continue to always be around, man. Money makes the world go round, unfortunately, and this is how these businesses work. Especially when you have a publisher, indie games don't necessarily have as much of a hold on that to where they can say no, we want it to go to as many people as possible. Although indies are just as susceptible because some indie guy out there making his game can get money hatted just as easily as any other company.
Well, there's certainly some arguments that Sony's doing a lot of that, and it can happen all over the place, and it is terrible when it denies people the chance to play their game particularly on their favorite system. Yeah, again, we talk about first party exclusives. I come from
I was going to say I come from a different viewpoint of this since I own all three systems. The only system I don't own is a Wii U. So I come from a really different viewpoint. I can't put myself in the shoes of somebody that just owns one thing and wants to play it. I don't know. What do you have, Carson? What systems do you have? Just a PC?
I had a PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
I sold it because the PC seems to be the only thing I need now. I mean, I started out, when I was younger, started Nintendo 64, then got a GameCube, then got a PlayStation 2, then PlayStation 3, and then realized, now that I have the funds to make a decent gaming PC, I've never really been happier. I play a lot of AAA titles. Some of my favorite games are really just indie games like Papers, Please, and stuff like that. I love games like that. Just games that really think outside of the box, and like Super Hot and stuff like that. Just these fun, unique games that developers are making, and that's my kind of gameplay. So I'm a little unique when it comes to that stuff. But don't get me wrong, I love my Battlefield. I love playing different AAA titles. I really did enjoy playing Red Dead Redemption on the PS3, and I love all sorts of Rockstar games. But PC is kind of where I reside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, man, we appreciate you calling in. We've got to take a break. Way overdue on one, but I didn't want. I was like, no, I'm not gonna kill the conversation that we're having just because we got to take a break. Which, by the way, money makes the world go round.
Perils of doing this at a radio station.
Yeah, and we have to take commercials. So, hey, I appreciate you calling in, and I hope to get to see you again either at PAX if that's not going to happen, or at E3 next year. Hope I get to see you.
We'll see each other soon. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Take care.
See ya.
All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we will have more about Gamescom. We haven't even touched the PS4 side of things and all the stuff that they showed there. I'm not even sure we finished the Xbox side of stuff. But when we come back, we'll have more of it. If you'd like to get your opinion in or want to talk about any of this stuff, give us a call, 334-272-9228. We'll be back in just a moment. Here's music from Uncharted 3. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. That's music from the sequel to Myst, Riven, which, by the way, I got confirmation this week. I get to go to Science Studios when I go to PAX.
Nice.
I think I'm more excited about that than I am the entire going to PAX thing.
You have to let us know, like, the first room inside there is just like an empty room with just a book in it.
Yeah,
and that's how you get.
You got to figure out how to get through the rest of the building. No, really, it's going to be like a 4-hour drive from Seattle to the studios, just that one trip. But I don't care.
I was going to say you'll be happy. You'll be bouncing up town the entire 4-hour
it's
ride.
A rental.
Man.
It's a rental car, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be a rental.
Oh, floor it.
Yeah. It's man, I cannot wait. Speaking of PAX is not next weekend, but the week after next.
Yes,
we will not have a show that weekend.
Yeah, because you'll be at PAX, I'll be at Dragon Con, and just everybody will be all over the place.
Yeah, so Labor Day weekend, we will have. I believe I'm just going to run that music episode that we did. We have to have something here.
Yeah.
So I think I'll edit that down, put that in there, and get that going. So let's do a quick chat room roll call here. AC Wraith, Church is in there. Church, by the way, is Carson who just called in. The Terlavos, G Neptune, Jimmy the Saint, Cali Synth. Nate is in there, probably from his phone. Better be. Otherwise, you should be here. Navid UK and W. Matthew. Also, Fishbang's in there, but I know he is probably just every once in a while glancing over.
Because he's in the middle of work right now.
He is in the middle of
Real
work,
busy.
so which is great. It's like he'll be back next week with us, and then none of us will be here the week after that, and then we'll start back into it. So, which will kick off, man, the big fall gaming season thing that's going on. I say that's huge. It always feels like it should be, but everything. It's like Gamescom was like, here's everything coming out 2015
well, I mean, everything,
or further.
Everything is coming out in 2015, aside from Assassin's Creed, Unity, and Rogue now.
Let's hit that real quick before we go into this. In fact, Assassin's Creed 2 is the next music we've got coming up. Church asked, what are your guys' opinions on AC Unity charging full price for the game and also including microtransactions? The microtransactions are... This is a case-by-case basis on my opinion of them.
Yeah.
But the microtransactions for AC Unity, as far as that we've heard, is stuff that will unlock things that you will normally unlock if you just go through the gameplay. And apparently, these things you can just unlock them early.
Yeah, the main thing for me is like, as long as it's not like something you absolutely have to get this microtransaction, or you just can't progress anymore, whether that is because it is a required item or the game is just too difficult to proceed without getting the single. I mean, I played Dead Space 3 just 2 weeks ago, and that was big on like having a microtransactions, but it never hassled you. Say, hey, you need to go get our downloadable content to make yourself more awesome. As long as it's something low key, it's not something that's popping up a reminder every 5 seconds in your main window, and it's not required. I don't really.
Jimmy
care.
the Saint makes a good one. He pretty much puts it into my perspective there. If it's just unlocking stuff early and not exclusive, I don't have a problem with microtransactions. And I don't have a problem with this either. Apparently it's not going to affect multiplayer. If it's not a pay-to-win scenario that's in a multiplayer, and if it's not a force you to do this in the single player, then I don't have a problem because it's something I can avoid.
Yeah, it's just going to be something, as far as Unity goes, we'll just have to see what they do. Because Dead Space 3 was completely innocuous.
EA has done this time and time again with their racing titles.
Oh, yeah?
Need for Speed, man. You could, oh my God. You could buy Need for Speed full price, then you can go into the store. Now, you can unlock these cars all in the game if you want to. Or you can pay like $10. Here's the entire list of cars that we've got here. They're all in your garage. There you go. You can do that.
How many cars are we talking about here?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I want to say something like 50.
Well, I mean, and how terrible is that? I mean,
maybe less.
You can unlock.
I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong on that number.
Okay,
so.
well, it all depends. It sounds like to me it all depends on whether or not will you ever have the time to painstakingly unlock all those cars playing this game.
Yeah, I mean,
it depends on the player. Really, I mean, if you want to sit there and grind your way out and get all those cars unlocked, have at it. If that's what you want to do.
Again, I don't have a problem with them doing it as long as it's not a forced thing that makes me do it.
Yeah, as long as you keep it pure.
Yeah, as long as it's not forcing, as long as it's not a thing that's popping up every 5 seconds to say, hey, you need to check out our extra content store because it's super awesome.
Yeah.
What's he talking about here?
Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
Have some microtransactions. Yeah, it did.
James knows better about that than
he does, but Carson says you could purchase weapon packs that had a random chance to spawn rare loot weapons.
But I think...
but it was all a gamble. It wasn't guaranteed. It was just a gamble.
And I don't know for sure, but I think you got those just by playing the multiplayer anyway. I don't know. I didn't play it. James is the one who knows the most about that, because considering he sunk hours into that, and I never heard a complaint from him about it. So I trust that was mostly innocuous as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. So on that opinion, that's one of those things. I think so far, I think that stuff's been handled well. I can't stand it on the on mobile devices.
Oh yeah, mobile devices, Facebook games, anything like that.
Things like those where it's like, hey, you did this, but you can't do it again for 24 hours unless you give us 5 cents, and then you can do it again or something like that. That's nickel and dime, man. This is significant stuff. I'm sure it's like $5, $2, $3, whatever. I'm sure it's something.
Yeah,
but like. Your apps on your phone and stuff, the games there. I'm specifically speaking of Simpsons, but the games there, those are like really small amounts. Maybe 99 cents here, maybe less there. Sometimes during sales.
For those kind of games,
it adds up.
It does, because it's only $1. Boom, and then like a week later, it's like it's only $1, and then it's only $1. Well, let me throw in $5. Let me throw in this. Stuff adds up after a while. I've stopped since playing that game, by the way.
Yeah, for those games, especially the free to play games. I'd much rather just have like a $15 version I can buy and not have to worry about any of that, wait 24 hours for your thing to be built or what have you. But at the same time, that cuts off a near constant revenue stream going to the developer, so I understand why that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Kylie Smith brings up the fact that it would make that microtransactions can make the game more grindy. It'll depend. It really will. I keep going back to it because it's the most recent one I played. Dead Space 3, I never felt like I was underpowered. I always felt like I was at just the right level as far as my gear.
Yeah. I mean, I went through that whole game when I played it with a pulse rifle, a launcher, and the Ripper plasma cutter attachment. That's pretty much what I used 85-90% of the time.
Yeah,
I didn't feel the need to get anything special.
I never felt like whatever the thing that unlocks doors, I never felt like I was ever low on those.
Power nodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was like tungsten something. Tungsten rotating bars or whatever it is in there. But it's essentially the same thing as power nodes were in the previous games.
Right.
But those were a craftable thing, and I always had one on hand. I never ran into a series of doors where it's like, well, you need to spend X amount here, and, well, but I don't have enough.
What would happen, here's a hypothetical, and probably a horrible time to bring up a hypothetical. What would happen if, let's take AC Unity, let's take Assassin's Creed Unity. Let's say the microtransactions, and let me finish on this before you jump in on this. Okay. But let's say the microtransactions were required. Like, well, or maybe not necessarily required, but it was going to be very difficult without certain items or something like that. But let's say the game price was $30 at retail, brand new, day one. But you knew there were going to be microtransactions that you were going to have to make. In other words, does the price of the game make a difference, or is it the fact that there's just microtransactions that make a difference?
It's not just because microtransactions. I would much rather pay $60 and not have to worry about that garbage. I would much rather have my payment made, have it done, have my game, and that's it.
Well, we used to never have the thought of, I would just like to pay my full price and have my game without having to wait for patches and downloads and things like that.
And part of that is like if it has to be an either or if it was all we had was a $30 game of microtransactions,
yeah.
I probably
I'm just saying I
would just probably skip it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go in that direction where it's like, look, if we microtransactions this stuff, we'll make more money than if we sold the game at full price. You know
I think people will just avoid those games, though. I think overall
not if it's picked up in mass. You know what I'm saying? Not if it's done.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Again, we're dealing with hypotheticals.
I know we are dealing with hypotheticals, but if we look back, we used to have to. What was it that they did? If you wanted, EA was doing that $10 thing, right?
Yeah, Project $10.
Yeah, which didn't last, but it was there for a good while. It didn't last when the new consoles hit. Mm-hmm. They got rid of that. But that was something that we never thought we'd see take hold. I think EA was the only one doing that, but I thought I remember other companies picking up on that stuff where if you rented or if you bought the game used,
you missed out on kind of like Mass Effect 2 had the entire Cerberus network. You had to purchase a $10 thing to have access to, I think it was essentially like the DLC and some side quests. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I never got Mass Effect 2, so I don't know.
I did too, but I did get Mass Effect 2, and I believe I bought it and had the card in it that could get me all that stuff or whatever it was. I can't remember. Let's jump into Sony's situation. Let's get off of the microtransactions and everything else. It's a great discussion. We could probably fill 2 hours of that talk.
Oh, easily. But again, at this point we're kind of dealing with what ifs and hypotheticals.
There's a lot of what ifs, but I can remember when they were what ifs that actually became true way back when. Mm-hmm. You know, we've been doing this for 8 years now. We've seen things come and go. And we've seen things that we talked about before thinking, boy, I hope that doesn't catch on, and then it catches on. Yeah. Not out of gamers wanting it to catch on, just out of companies wanting it to catch on.
Yeah.
And doing that. So,
because remember, it's all about money.
I'm just saying, we could see this stuff happen. I don't know, but we could. Sony's presentation at Gamescom was something that I really enjoyed. They started off with that install base.
Yeah, install base of 10 million.
Yeah, that's sold to customers.
Not units shipped from the Sony warehouses like you see with Microsoft back at E3. There are 10 million PS4s in homes across the world. And yeah, that's good.
It is. That was a great number to see. That's an amazing number to see. Only not even a year into the console's life cycle.
Yeah.
To see 10 million people already with a PlayStation 4. What else did we see announced? We saw the SharePlay feature.
The SharePlay, which essentially lets you play a game with a friend. They can play something in your library. Mm-hmm. They did come out and say there is a limit of an hour on that game time. But it is interesting. I think it said it can be done over the internet. Just they have to download the stuff to their PS4 and you're good to go. So it's nice. It's nice for a nice trial. Somebody wants to try it out without having to go out and purchase a game or rent it from Redbox or what have you. I don't know. I don't have PS4. I can't. So it's kind of not even an issue to me. It's like, that sounds like an interesting thing if I do pick one up eventually. Mm-hmm.
We saw some extra footage from The Order. We saw some extra footage from a couple of games that we've already seen. I don't think there was anything from Destiny. There was a nice trailer from Destiny, but The Order was one, and there was other stuff, I believe. We saw the Tearaway version that was going to be on PS4. That was going to have like 50% more stuff that was not in the Vita version.
Yeah, I saw Journey and Unfinished Swan were both announced to come to the PS4.
Journey is
it's a PSN title.
It's a PSN title. It's a cross-buy situation.
Okay.
And I want to say that if you had it for PS3, you will be able to have it for PS4.
Oh, nice.
This is only if you bought it through the PlayStation Network. If you got the disc version, which they did release a disc version of both the Flower Flow, all of that game company's titles, Flower Flow and Journey, that does not apply to you.
Okay, makes sense.
Right. You will have to rebuy it in that case. But if you did buy it on the PS3 through the PSN, you will be able to have it on the PS4. I think. I think it is. I think that's the case.
We did get some details about the Far Cry 4 co-op mode, where somebody could come in as co-op partner in your game.
Yeah, you get 10 keys when you buy the game.
Yeah, you get 10 keys that are good for 2 hours each. It's not stated whether, if you give, basically...
can I give all 10 to somebody and we can go for...
20 hours?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's not clear yet on that, but we kind of assumed again, we assume that you know what that means.
Kelly Sent's response: "Yay, Vita games on the PS4. Something seems backwards here." Yeah, dude, they did not show anything for Vita at Gamescom. Vita is just getting. They're not getting that kind of support out there. It just wasn't. There was no show at Gamescom.
I wonder if that's just because PS4 is kind of the most recent thing,
right.
and that's going to get the most attention right now.
Well, more than likely, probably that thing we were talking about a while ago about how portable gaming is really going to Androids and handheld devices now.
Bloodborne, that was the game I was thinking of.
Yeah, but from software.
That was the game that got more. That got some more stuff shown at Gamescom. God, I forgot to talk about Quantum Break from Xbox.
Don't worry about that.
I hate to have to jump back and forth. I've got to talk about Scream Ride from Xbox. Man, there's just
so
too much
news.
Too much. Anyway, Scream Ride was just whatever CGI thing. No gameplay, no nothing. We don't know really what that is. I just knew that if I wasn't going to get a Roller Coaster Tycoon 4, I'll take Scream Ride and not.
Which looks like a roller
within the same
with
day.
some black comedy and insert in. Let me make notes as these people take their roller coaster through this building.
Yeah, in the same day, we got announced the Roller Coaster Tycoon World, which is a PC-only thing, will be devoid of microtransactions, or at least supposed to be devoid of microtransactions, unlike their mobile app, Roller Coaster Tycoon, which is nothing but microtransactions. If the game's free for your phone, it's because it's got nothing but microtransactions in it. So I'm working on trying to get the guys working on Roller Coaster Tycoon World to be on the show with us. But I have to go through Atari to do that. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But back over to the PS4, a lot of indie games were shown off. Indie games were shown off at both at both conferences.
We got DayZ announced for PS4.
That we did. Is that only PS4?
I think
other than PC.
Other than PC, yeah. I think DayZ is still in early access on PC.
I think it is.
So, be interesting to see.
Yeah.
How far out that's going to be.
And then Ninja Theory announced Hellblade, which honestly, when they showed that trailer, and they showed that woman, that character, I was like, man, that looks like the chick from
Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword, not the main one with the red hair, but the cat-like girl. I don't remember what her name was.
I never played.
She talked very strange. She talked very cryptic.
I'm just interested, new Ninja Theory title, because I enjoyed DMC, I enjoyed Enslave, so
we got another look at Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain.
Lots of fun with cardboard boxes.
But we got the PC announcement.
Yes, coming into Steam.
Which, boom, there you go, PC.
Yep.
Where am I going to pick it up? Pick it up on PC.
That's where you go.
Yeah, I've already put it in my wish list. One of the things that we didn't talk about when Carson was on the phone talking about PC games, cheaper price. Sometimes. Day one, no, you really can't compare. But down the line, yes.
Yeah, you do tend to get better sales on the PC after even 6 months, even and up to a year tends to go pretty cheap. But at that point, you've missed out on this game for that much time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of part of the cost of that. The other thing to bring up for Sony is new Silent Hill, and
I want to talk about that. Let's take a break and then let's devote the next thing to that, because I know I don't even know if Nate's still in the chat room. Is he still in the chat room? Let me look here real quick. Nate's still in the chat room. He wanted to call in and talk about that. So, Nathan, now would be a good time to do that. We're going to take a break. And we're going to talk about PT, and we're going to talk about Silent Hills, and we're going to talk about all that stuff. I'm going to talk about how great that was.
Yeah,
how fantastic that was when we come back. And if you'd like to get in your time with us, give us a call 334-272-9228. Nate, call us 334-272-9228. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat in like 1 minute. But first, here's music from Assassin's Creed 2. and welcome back to In-Game Chat for our last segment here of the night. That is music from Mirror's Edge. Looking forward to the sequel on that. Nathan is on the phone, but Nate, we're going to hang on. I want to talk to you, Nate. But if it was anybody else, man, I'd go to Nate, but it's not. This is Matt calling all the way from places he can't talk about, the sand. Hey, Matt, you're on the air with us.
Hello.
How's it going now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going. Well, right as I was dialing, with the delay, then I heard you say, hey, Nate, give a call, and I was like, oh, man.
No, you could still call. I mean, anybody could call if they want to. And I would have gotten to them after I talked to Nate, except you're calling from... What time is it there?
It's 5 in the morning.
Hey, it's 5 in the morning. We don't get to talk to you very often. And so, glad you're calling in. What'd you want to talk about other than, say, oh, dude, I get to play Darth Vader next weekend.
You will?
Right? I know. I get to play Darth Vader next weekend. I tried on the helmet last weekend. It fits well. The voice box works. I'm going to wear the...
You say what it's for.
Yeah, I'm doing a wedding.
Okay.
I'm doing... Well, maybe you know Mike. I think you know Mike. If you don't know Mike, you should. Guy's a Star Wars fanatic.
If I was there, I'd help out. I got some outfits. I got the connection.
I know, yeah. And so, I'm doing. They're renewing their vows. It's their 20th anniversary, and they're doing a Star Wars themed wedding. And I'm going to dress up as Vader, and do the ceremony.
Email me afterward. I'll see if I can't maybe get some of the 501st out there.
Wow, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I will definitely do that and see what they can do for you. That'd be great. Okay, so what's going on?
I just last night was my day off, so I played episode 4 of Walking Dead season 2 and finished that out.
Oh yeah, how are you feeling about that so far?
I like it. It's much like the first season. I think it's a good game. It's just, man, it's sad. Can these guys ever catch a break?
It's not pulling the emotion with me yet like it did with the first game, and I don't know if that's because I'm playing it episodic, or is the first one I played back to back to back, or I don't know what the situation is, or or maybe it's just not hitting me like the first one did. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that, but it was. I thought it was good.
When are you? Any idea when you're coming back?
All I know is like in the year time.
Okay, so hopefully not too long. Just maybe.
Well, we originally were thinking December. I think was when he was going to be coming back. I didn't know if maybe that might be sooner. That he might be able to come back. So.
They don't tell me anything.
I know. I saw your video, by the way.
Oh my gosh! That's yeah.
Matt's got I don't know. Can it's out there? I could see it, so I guess everybody else could. Is this something we could?
Oh yeah.
Plug it. Well, I mean, you're in a competition for something, and you made it as a finalist, right?
Yeah, it's a competition that the Secretary of the Air Force sent out for people just to do a video selfie of why their job is amazing. And I got the email. They sent it base wide over here in Afghanistan. And much like everyone else, I just ignored it. But I freelanced for public affairs. They called me up and like, hey, would you mind doing a favor and doing a video? I'm like, all right, fine. So I just did a quick little 30-second video about public affairs, and I won the semi-finalist, or the finalist here for AFSENS, which is all of like the deployed areas.
Yeah.
And so I'm going against everyone else, and yeah.
Well, you should throw a link of that in the chat room so people can go see it. Or if you don't want people to go see it, then never mind.
I looked at some of the other videos, and I'm like, man, these people have like production value and everything. I just did a quick little video on my phone.
Yeah, you did. And you didn't do it in landscape either.
No.
So you have an extra small video.
Yeah, really, it's basically just his face. But yeah, so anyway, I don't want to keep you long because I know this is expensive call and it's early over there. So
yeah, I'm about to head out to the gym. But I just want to give you guys a call and everything. So Now, Scott, you're going to PAX South, right?
I am going to PAX South, yes.
Okay. I'm trying to decide about going to that one.
Yeah, I'll be going to PAX South. I think I'm the only one from our group going to PAX South, unless, of course, you decide to go. And yeah, so it'll probably be the one-time thing, though, just because it's in a new place. I went to the first PAX East in Boston, but I never went back. I'll go to this first PAX South, and I probably won't go back. But
I went to the first PAX Prime. And
yeah, exactly.
Haven't gone back,
and
but I had the best experience of anybody.
You were a Meganaut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, San Antonio is a lot closer than
Seattle. Yeah.
It is. I mean, and if that's something that we can get, like, the entire group of us to go, I'd throw in and submit to do a live show as a panel type thing, if we could all go. But until we can all go, then yeah, there's no point in doing that. So, but yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great if you can do that. That'd be something we could do. But we appreciate you calling in, man. And what are you looking forward to be playing next?
I really want to do Alien Isolation when it comes out in October.
That'll make up for some stuff, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, after the entire Colonial Marines debacle.
We hope it will anyway. We haven't, we'll wait and see when it releases.
Yeah.
So far, so good, everything that I've played.
Yeah, I'm going back to Tomb Raider just for, fun.
Yeah.
And just some back library stuff. All right, well, just want to say hey to everybody.
All right, man.
For cutting them off.
Well, stay safe out there, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, man.
All right. Take care, Matt.
Take care, Matt.
Bye.
Let's jump over to the line and get Nate on the phone with us as we go into talking about PT.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Nate. First off, if you can make it back for the game streaming, let us know if you can. I don't know that you can or not, but we're planning on doing a game called Crawl.
Mm-hmm. I have heard of that.
Yeah, and of course, there's always our backup plan of speedrunners or whatever else that we can do.
We always can get a good game of speedrunners going.
Fun stuff. So hopefully you can make it back for that.
We only have a few games on Steam, so
I know.
Yeah, I mean, only 500, man. It's it's just so little to choose from.
It's like cable TV, man. 500 channels ain't nothing on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but anyway, so PT releases. This was great. This is the way that they did this. They showed off Metal Gear, and immediately they showed off PT. They did no introduction for it or anything.
Yeah, just like a brief video.
Yeah, just a quick, brief video, and then they come out and say, and this is one of the things I love about any of these conferences, hey, that's available for free right now on PSN.
Yeah, go try out this demo.
Yeah.
Did you watch it live?
Yeah, I did watch it live, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had watched it live, too, and when they showed the whole cliche, like, paranormal activities, the girls screaming, in night vision camera, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so stupid. Yeah,
because they were showing that here's reactions to people playing PT.
Yeah,
I'm never a fan of that. Did you end up becoming one of those people?
Yes, I did. I'll say it. It was later that night. It was probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Oh, great!
That's
perfect.
That's the best time to play those kind of games.
All the lights off. Everyone's asleep. Put on the headphones. I was on the Reddit forum, and I saw people freaking out about it. I was like, I didn't read anything about it. I didn't know what it was. And I was like, okay, well, I already had it downloaded. Used a little handy dandy app to pre-download it, and so I was like, okay, I'm playing through here, and I was like, it had a couple good moments on me.
I can imagine so. I watched a lot of streams on it, and it was like, oh God, this is the baby.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's some really.
And I've did some pretty good research on the director who they chose. I don't want to mess up his name. I can't think of it.
Guillermo del Toro?
Yes.
He's done quite a bit of horror and fantasy.
I knew he did the Hellboy series, but I didn't know the other things he's done.
Yeah, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth comes to mind.
He didn't do that, though. I think he was just like a producer of it.
No, he did Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
There are a couple he just supervised. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'd like Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, I think is one he just supervised on and things like that.
Yeah.
But that and the whole PT playable trailer thing, like you were saying, that's brilliant.
Did you Did you beat it? Did you get the result that everybody else got? Because
I have not beaten it yet. I've probably spent a good 4 hours trying to beat it, like a couple hours that night, and then another hour, and I still didn't get things to trigger that are supposed to trigger.
I don't. Yeah, we were talking about this. PT is playable teaser, right?
Yeah, that's what it stands for.
Playable teaser, and it's a teaser for a game called Silent Hills, which I guess we don't know that it's a reboot or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't know any details. We know it's going to be part of the Silent Hill series. However,
right.
It's going to be
and it's called Silent Hills instead of Silent Hill, which is an odd. It's an odd title to give.
It is, and we don't know anything aside from that. Aside from 3 names attached to it. We know Hideo Kojima is working on it. Guillermo del Toro as well. And,
what is he doing? Do we know?
Don't know. He's one of the names. He's the second name mentioned in the video, and then the last one is the actor who's presumably playing Lee, which is Norman Reedus of The Walking Dead fame.
Right.
That's about all the information we have. I haven't seen what's part of the demo or part of stream, so I don't know how much of that is in there.
Something funny though, you know the studio name. Did you notice that the 7780 or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you know how that all came about?
No, I don't.
That actually, it was Kojima did an interview about that once everyone figured out what it was. That is a place in Japan, I believe. He said it in the interview, and that's. I believe he said it sounds like Silent Hill over there. Like that's the zip code.
Oh, okay.
And the S stands for Silent Hill. So, like, the whole studio's made up. That's not really...
Yeah, he did a similar thing for Phantom Pain when it...
Yeah.
Before it was announced, this is MGS5.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there was a lot of... That was easier to pick up.
Yeah.
Than this was to think that it was going to be related to Silent Hill at all. This PT thing. That was the whole Phantom Pain. I didn't... In other words... Whenever they released that, there was a lot of people looking into it. There was a lot of people trying to figure out what this thing is.
Yeah, I remember with Phantom Pain, a lot of people said the animation's moves a lot like Snake does.
Yeah,
in previous MGS games.
But this was such a great the fact that they buried a game reveal inside a teaser or inside like this demo thing, and as far as I know, man, we don't. Do we know exactly how to unlock this thing?
Yeah, there is a guide. There's random events that trigger. So once you loop through the room and stuff, there is a somewhat guide. The problem where it gets tricky is there's certain parts where once you get to a certain stage, once you pass the baby, there's parts where you have to stare at a clock and let it click to 12 o'clock midnight. But you don't know. It can be random how long it takes for it to switch, and then you have to go through another set of motions. And if you get possessed, then you have to just let her attack you and restart.
Hmm.
So that's where it gets, and he expected people for it to take people a week to figure out how to do this.
Yeah, and it took only half a day for somebody cracked it.
I mean, to me, I'm like, the internet nowadays, if you think it's going to take a week,
Okay.
Yeah, people level max on WoW characters, they'll think that takes a week, and it takes people, nonstop 12 hours.
No, that was one of the best ways that I've ever seen a game revealed. And honestly, we were talking about this during the break. I was like, man, I wish it could have stayed hidden so that, I'm not sure how they could have done it, but something so that people could have discovered this more on their own. And we... Like, the conversation we could have right now would still be, man, did you see that PT thing? What is that? And we still would not have any idea.
Oh, yeah.
To where that we could all have our speculation and kind of go through it and figure this thing out. So that especially when we did find it, it would be one of those moments where it would have even floored us even more.
Yeah.
To see something like that. And I would imagine... I would imagine, 5 years ago, we still could have had that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Due to non-communication.
Yeah, or maybe even more than that, probably 6-10 years ago, something like that.
You probably have to go back when magazines were our primary news source for...
yeah.
But again, we wouldn't have a playable demo day one of an announcement.
Yeah, you wouldn't be downloading it.
Yeah.
People still have dial-up.
Yeah, W. Matthew says, we live in a world with data mining. That will never happen. And he's exactly right. I kind of wish it could have stayed within itself so that more people could have, I guess, discovered it on their own. But then again, given how convoluted it is to figure the thing out.
Yeah, I mean, there are guides. It's just, like I said, it can be kind of random how things.
It is very random. Have you played anything else? You got time to talk about that?
Yeah, let's see. BioShock. I've been starting on that, still playing that. Well, one thing that's funny, that game came out in 2007. I feel like they just came out like yesterday. that blew my mind.
Yeah.
The first one's 2007. But it cracked me up because I had Fraps running on my PC, and I started it up. And when I first started playing through the game, the number of frames per second on the top of my screen, it was like 490.
Wow. Well, that's right, because you're running a massive card that can blow that thing out of the water.
I wasn't expecting near 500 frames.
Yeah.
But then I realized it was 2007, so I was like, oh, that's not that surprising. But yeah, I've been playing that, and it's really just been killing time. Also, I enjoy Risk of Rain. It's really a fun game.
Oh, that's right. Something we were going to play. Did you find out if that had local co-op?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Well, it has online co-op, but you run the server off your computer.
Okay.
And let people connect to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really fun game. You guys should try that sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe if you can stop by the studio here tonight, we can throw it into the list.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do Crawl, and Crawl may take us the rest of the
game of Crawl doesn't take that long.
Okay.
Full game can last as little as 10 minutes, and I think the most I played with just playing with the boss was around 30.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be fun to do. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys later on.
All right. Oh, hey, don't forget, I got to sell my PS4 to your friend.
Yes.
I want to do that soon because it's coming up.
Yeah, I understand. I'll talk to him.
Yeah, make sure. All right, dude. Thanks.
All right.
See you, Nate. Totally something I could have asked him after the show, but decided to air it in front of everybody just to say, hey, don't forget to do that.
Man, priorities.
I don't know why it was on the top of my head, and I'm like, ooh, that's coming up. When we first did this.
You have to make sure that Destiny bundled PS4 is secure.
No, it is secure. It is secure. It's just that I got to make sure that I can sell this he said he was going to buy it, that I can sell it off. And I'm sure I probably can, even if he doesn't. I'm sure there's somebody who will buy it. Maybe Carson wants a PS4. Anyway, that is about it. What's coming out? Anything coming out this week?
Not that I can think of.
Nothing that I can think of either.
Nothing new that I know of.
The Walking Dead pinball table from Zen Studios is coming out not this week, but the week after this one. The week of PAX, actually, is when that table releases. So hopefully I'll get a preview on that, and we can do some of that stuff.
Get that out on Silverwall Sundays.
Yeah. So...
let's see.
Anything else you're going to be playing?
Some more Crawl, more than likely. I just installed this the other day because I want to play back through it. The Darkness 2. I'm going to be getting into that this week.
Okay.
Which got it on Steam sale for like $7. I'd already played it on the consoles, but just a really nice tight game. And there's some multiplayer elements. I might try to see if I can get a pickup game of multiplayer on that. So that's what I'm going to do.
Anything for you, RJ?
Just keep playing Arkham Origins and Dark Souls.
Good.
2,
I'm looking forward to hearing your assessment of that when you get done with it. I really liked Arkham Origins. I liked it. I think I liked it a lot more than I did Arkham City.
Best of the bunch.
I think Asylum wins because it was the first. I think it wins because it blew me away how great it was. Now, of course, nothing. They don't all measure up to that now.
Yeah.
But it coming out of the gate being like, finally, they made a fantastic Batman game. I didn't care the fact that you could pretty much wear detective vision the entire time. I was just like, good superhero game. This is great. This is good. They still haven't gotten that Batman. We've had these conversations, him being a detective and that sort of thing. They still haven't gotten that down. They try to do some of that in Origins. You have not gotten that far yet.
I've seen the element with the towers being jammed and why.
Right, there's that, but they do it even. It gets even better when I think it's after the Penguin.
Okay.
It gets even better with some of that stuff, where you have to, not reenact, but review the crime scene and all that
stuff. Yeah, but the little bit I saw from the first crime scene I looked at was nice. I did like that, having to reconstruct the crime and re-go through it and look through things from there. Mm-hmm.
I'll be finishing up. I'm going to try and finish up to the moon. And my goal, though, right now is to have Wolfenstein New Order done before James gets back next week, because he has finished it and I want to finish it. I'm playing it on his account, by the way, through Steam Share, family.
Yeah, you've got the family sharing stuff with him.
So I need to finish that up before he gets done with his stuff and starts using the Steam account again, so that I'll have that opportunity whenever it comes up. But yeah, so that is what I'm doing. I hope you guys have a great week with whatever you guys intend on playing, and join us here next week as well. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat room, as well as everybody listening on the stream or even on the radio. Thanks to everybody who grabs us each week from iTunes or however you get our show for later use. We really do appreciate it. Head on over to ingamechat.net, and you can join us on Twitter, Facebook, our forums at colonyofgamers.com. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you're on Steam, we've got a Steam group you can join up with over there and play games with us and other listeners. This is Mass Effect, but it oddly enough sounds like Wolf Among Us opening.
Just a little bit, but no, it's definitely not.
It's not. I got to get that and put that in there. That's a good. That's some good music.
I've listened to that one quite a few times.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks everybody. If you want to watch us play some video games in about 30 minutes, we're going to be doing that on our Twitch account. Head over to twitch.tv and look for In-Game Chat, and you'll find us. I want to thank everybody. We will see you next Saturday. Appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat room with us. Have a great week. See you next Saturday.